Mr. Gbenga Omotosho is the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Lagos State. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
So, sir, we've been seeing a lot of demolitions happening in Lagos State. If someone outside of Nigeria, for example, is interested in investing in Lagos or they have properties in Lagos, should we be worried or not?
There is no need to get worried at all.
Just for people to know, what you are saying is that none of the demolition that you are doing in Lagos State is against the law, and all the owners already know that they are building in the right of way.
We live in a civilized society. If your property is going to be demolished because it's on the right of way of a road, and you have a document to back it up, the government will compensate you. They will give you money. They won't leave you to your own devices.
So there has been instances where some landowners or investors have complained that they actually thought that the approval they got was legit because it was gotten from a government body. Have you heard anyone complain about instances like that where they actually went to some of these government institutions for approval and got some approval that they thought was authentic? I've had people that complain that they actually thought that they were doing the right thing. Has anyone complained of something like this to your ministry, sir?
Well, I think I have not heard about that somebody has fake papers, because the government office is an open place. You go to the place, and then if you employ a professional architect, a professional builder, a professional engineer, all the documents you will get, they will have the stamp of all these associations there. So it is very easy to trace those documents, whether they are genuine or not.
The government of Lagos technically owns the land in Lagos. So I'm going to play where he said that so that you can react to it.
It's every time a call comes from Lagos, your mind is not at peace, or the one which you know that it's true.
I'm letting people in while I'm getting that video ready. Please, if you'd like to join us, I'm posting the link for you to join us in the description. Yes, sir. Does Lagos State actually own the land in Lagos? Are people actually buying from Lagos? Or when people buy land in Lagos, do they actually get to own that land? Is it actually theirs? Or is it just being leased to them for 90 years or things like that? We've heard about all that. Do you mind talking about that, please?
All land is vested in the governor by virtue of the land use decree. All over Nigeria, the state government has control over land. So everybody who buys land anywhere, at one point or the other, will have to have something to do with the government, because we need to regularize the papers of such land.
That doesn't mean that the governor is just regulating and approving. It means that they own it.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. By virtue of that law, land is vested in the government. So if a family, for example, sells land to you, you will still need to go to the government before you do anything on that land.
This is the Senior Special Assistant on Diaspora and Foreign Relations in Lagos State. And yes, he is a cousin to the governor. That's why they shared the same last name.
Why is it that lands that we have acquired with proper documentation? Let me tell you, when I came into real estate, my love for people as a company caused me to back out from the Bejuleki, and I'm not apologetic. I started with just an estate myself, and my husband is my chairman. We noticed that it is not possible to really get CFO. It's like a needle that is going into I don't even know how to explain it. Going to heaven is better.
Auntie Grace, what is your question?
So my question is, why that? Then number two.
So bureaucracy, you are saying that
because of that, we stopped for 1 year. We stopped selling because even diaspora could not afford land with CFO. So we went to CFO. Why do we get CFO? Land grabbers will come. We will be in the courts. And judiciary system is something that's supposed to be a write-off. Like, You're not supposed to
Okay,
even get to court.
so you are
So
talking
why do
about
you have, where I'm coming, Adeola, I'm
bureaucracy.
coming. Why do we get C of O, where a land has a C of O, and people will now come and say the C of O was misplacedly sent to? There are a lot of plenty issues. You want to do things right. People don't just want the things to go right.
We understand your passion and your pain too, and we are looking at creating solutions for them. And again, the Lagos State Office of Diaspora Affairs is there for you. We are there to support you. If you have challenges, reach out to me, JermaineSanwo-Olu.com, or on social media, Twitter. I can support you in that regards.
I'm just going to take Segun O'Law is here. He's about to cause trouble. There's Flo and then there's Segun O'Law. I'm just going to take them. Miss Flo has been waiting for a long time. Miss Flo, thank you so much for joining us.
Right. Mr. Commissioner, sir, please, I have a very, very peculiar story. So 20 years ago, right, sir, in Abijo GRA area, I actually bought a piece of land. As at then, we weren't aware of what's happening now, 24 years later. Now, recently, we found out that the land is committed to the government, but there's already a structure standing there, sir. So my question is, now that we found out that it's committed to the government, is it possible? Is there any kind of process that I can, any process that will enable me extract that particular land?
Government papers. If you have government papers to show there is approval for it, there could be some consideration. So I will advise you that you should write about it.
The law of eminent domain, whereby land can be taken for overriding public interest, like those, unfortunately, the landmark area that was taken for the Lagos-Calabar Expressway, and also the area for the fourth mainland bridge that is being built. There are some times that these things happen, that they look at the better good for the greater number of people. And however, there's also a compensation process that also goes into when there's a overriding public interest and the law of eminent domain comes into place. So
this is a feedback, sir. The C-of-Os are not coming in 2 years. We have other properties also. We applied for C-of-O, and it's been almost 2 years and nothing, sir. There's absolutely nothing. So I think there's a clique of the people who are actually getting the C-of-Os. There's a clique. It's like a cult, like a,
cult.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm telling you. Because other people, regular folks like us are not getting it, sir. But
Segun O'Law, please. Nice to see you. Please go straight to your question. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. If you can hear me. So I want to first appreciate the platform you have brought to allow people interface. Secondly, I just want to go straight to the point. Let me appreciate the gentleman from the government side to coming here. Honorable Commissioner, I know him. He doesn't know me like that. Met only once in an occasion, an event, and I've also listened to Mr. Jamin himself, I think once or twice on Twitter Spaces. But let me just go straight to the point. I want to ask particularly about the coastal road realignment that is affecting a lot of people along the Okun-Ajah to Eleko corridor. Let's forget about landmark. I mean, I'm not talking about that one. I'm not talking about... and I also understand that Okun-Ajah Moko has also been returned into the swamp. But there are still hundreds of thousands of people who are affected, especially if you go towards Moshiriko, go down to Iwerikon, Solu, Oromija, Odushina, and the rest of them. And these people are lamenting. What my question is we learned that recently there's a Supreme Court judgment, I think sometime around January, February, saying that 250 meters from the shore now belongs to the federal government. Maybe that was the fight. I guess that matter was in court for a long time until finally they got a verdict. Then now there is a gazette. People have their village excisions, and a lot of people bought, to be safe, they bought in the excision. They know about the original alignment. Freedom that is just one. They bought into the village excisions, and they decided not to cross into the original alignment of the coastal road. Everybody respected, honored it, and decided not to encroach on it. So people went to do their proper searches, did everything possible. We know they are now talking about compensation and all that, but not everybody will be compensated. Even those who are compensated have come out to say the compensation is like an insult. I know particularly somebody who came from diaspora to invest in that axis. And then the person, after engaging, paying all the necessary, including government fees. The first question is, why won't they compensate those who have engaged Swambuge for over a month? You know what that cost per day? Then Sanfield did everything they needed to do. Then suddenly you say, leave, and there's no compensation for land. It's only those who have permanent structures that they are compensating, because they say government can use land in overriding public interest. Overriding public interest means there's no other place you can use. But there is sufficient land in the swamp, still there. The old alignment is still there. Nobody want. Then the minister came to the town hall to say they want to sell the land, and there's nothing anybody can do to it. How is this giving confidence to Nigerians in diaspora who want to come home and invest? People did their searches. They did everything they needed to do. And it was clear, only for them to finish paying all the funds. Let's start work. They say, sorry, we realigned here. Coastal route is no longer going to pass. It's now going to go on the village. You want to sell the old alignment. That's number one question. What is Lagos State government doing to protect its gazette, to protect these villages, to protect people who have paid, and federal government came and said they want to encroach? That's number one question. Number two question, why is it that I understand the Honorable Commissioner has said that they are now coming up with something to harmonize all this process, EGIS and the rest of it. Why is it that you go to lands, the information you have when you do land search will be different from what you get when you get to another agency? It will be different, and then when you go back, they will say they have updated it. Something that was available before, and you have paid, you have done everything you are supposed to do, land register and all that, you will come back and they say, oh, government is now interested, it's no longer free. What are we doing to make sure that people are not facing these challenges again and again? It is not giving confidence to people to come and invest. It's not about Igbo outside your bad thing now. It's about what is happening to everybody. What are you doing to protect people? Is there a committee, Lagos and federal government?
Who do you want to answer the question? The minister or
whoever has the right answer among the two?
All right.
Let me just thank you for those questions. First, about compensation. If you even check the meaning of compensation, it's quite different from I am buying land from you, I am buying your house from you. I have taken over your property in the public interest, and now for you to not feel being left to your own devices, I am saying take this amount of money. So it's compensation. It's not going to ever be enough for what you have lost in the public interest. Not because the government took over your property because they just wanted to be wicked. No, it's in the public interest because a road must be built. And if you look at the advantages of building such a road, they are just enormous, humongous advantages.
This your answer is going to upset a lot of people. So you're basically saying people should be willing to sacrifice their, because
as I speak to you now, there are one or two villages that are protesting that the road must pass through their village. That they don't care whether they are taking away their homes. They don't
that doesn't answer
pass through, because they realize the enormous advantages of having such a road pass through your area.
No. This is different. We're talking about somebody bought land. Now the government is saying they want to use the land, and you are saying the compensation can never be enough.
I'm still coming to that. You know, it started from the coastal road. Mr. Segun started from the coastal road. So the one that he just spoke of, the one that you mentioned just now, that to me is very strange. You go and find out today that you want to buy land somewhere and there is no encumbrancy. And then it's not encumbered in any way, either by litigation or by whatever form. And then you go back there, they say, oh, we are sorry, government is taking over the land. That is very strange to me. Because government is not just something that you take knee-jerk decisions. There are projects that are being conceived several years ago, like the coastal road that we are talking about too. So if he has any particular case of an instance that government just woke up one day, a place that you have checked and they said there are no encumbrances, and the government is now putting some hurdles there, you should let us know. We will go in there and find out why.
And let me reassure you.
I'll give you one instance
okay.
now, sir. Again, when you say overriding interest, it simply means there's no other land you can use. We are saying there's an original alignment for the road, and it's still there.
Okay. Well, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I can feel your pain and even the pain of many people who may be in a similar circumstance or situation. But be rest assured that the government of Ogonbawade Sanwo-Olu will do whatever it can to support you. You mentioned some two salient points about those lands that have, those properties that have structure on top of them and those who may have sand-filled the land and all that. That's something, is a feedback that we're getting from you, and we will go and look into all those things and see how people, as the commissioner had said, can be compensated. It may not be as much as the investment you put into it, but for overriding public interest, there'll be some compensation. And one thing I want you to know, that this kind of answers you're asking us from the state government, when I spoke about the all land is vested in the state government, but I said that the exception, especially those which have been covered, which are under the federal government's purview, that the state government does not have the power of that at all. So there's some federal government land, federal government roads, federal government highways and expressways in Lagos that Lagos state government does not have authority over. So in this same line, the best answers for these questions and the people that we need to maybe encourage Mr. Adeola to also connect to the federal government to say, okay, in this federal government land, in these areas, what is the best way to handle situations? We don't want to speak on behalf of the federal government. We are Lagos state government, but we understand your concerns. And in these areas, we will take the feedback and go and try and work on it, and so that we can meet your needs as residents and indigenes of Lagos.
Thank you so much.
It's also very good. It's also very good to give the government some credibility, no matter how little. That no government will move into any area and begin to take over land for the fun of it.
That's what
it has to be in the public interest and for the good of the majority.
Without coastal road, that's what it.
Honorable Commissioner, it's like you are telling us to be happy. They want to pass your road wants to pass through our land.
I'm telling you, there are some villages that are protesting that the road is not passing through their village.
It's like we're sacrificing for the public. If the government takes land, sir, they should pay in full. Hold on, Shegun. They should pay in full, because now you are telling us even the meaning of compensation doesn't mean that they are buying from you. Sir, this is somebody's land that they had paid for and everything. Now the government is trying to pass through. So I don't think it's right for you to be saying that it's compensation. It doesn't mean they are paying it.
No. This is not a question of right or wrong. This is not a question of right. I'm talking about practical things. It's not a question of right. If you are talking right or wrong, why should you take over somebody's property for whatever reason?
That's the question.
And just being taken away, and you say it's for the public interest. But sometimes, the public good, will also benefit even you ultimately. So we empathize. We're trying to be more understanding, and we appreciate this feedback. We'll look into it, please.
Let me just before.
All right, thank you so much. Shego, I need to take just what the commissioner needs to leave.
Just one. You can take it home. He doesn't have to
make it quick.
Okay. But by the time they wanted to commence this coastal road they wanted to start implementing the construction. Was there like a committee or interface between the federal and state government to say you can't pass it, it's gazetted, you cannot pass it, you can only pass where the original alignment is already taken, allocated for it by the federal government since over 30 years. Everybody knows it and is there. Was there like an interface between the federal and states before deciding they can take anyone and leave the original to go and sell to Chinese, Lebanese, Aguri and co?
Now Mr. Shegun is taking the matter to another level.
No, because you can't give confidence to people this way. You can't just say, come and invest. And
there is nothing done on the coastal road. There is nothing done on the coastal road that has not been documented for a long time. It's not that the government woke up last month and said that coastal road, this is where it's going to pass through, this is where it's not going to pass through. It's always been there.
And it's still there.
It's always been there.
It's still
and
there,
like I said, you also look at the advantages of building this kind of road. There are so many of our young people, apart from being employed on this road, who will never, maybe in their lifetime, see this kind of road being built.
The land is still there. Road. That's what we are saying. you are changing the alignments to claim new land. That's what we are saying.
Thank you so much. Let's not get upset. Thank you so much, everybody. This is the last person that I'm letting in. Mr. Jermaine,
Thank you,
if you're
Mr.
saying
Chego.
something, you're muted.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chego. We'll take your feedback. Please reach out to us on specifics and we'll work on it, please. Thank you.